it's Val. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial highlighting or showcasing the Too Faced Chocolate Bar Palette. I absolutely love it. I've been meaning to do this for a while. And I'm going to be talking about the eyeshadows a little bit before I get started. First off, packaging looks like a giant chocolate bar. I think it's perfect. I love it. It's very attractive because I love chocolate. It has a magnetic closure, which I really like. It's made of like a tin material, but I do feel it's pretty sturdy and it's also very thick. It's got a wide variety of neutral shades. It also has some pops of color if you're feeling a little bit more adventurous. Got a little purple going on here. Got a burgundy over here, which is super pretty. It's very unique. I love the color selection in this palette. I think Too Faced did an amazing job. I actually went into Sephora to get the Naked 3 palette and I got convinced into buying this one and I don't regret it one bit. These are made with 100% cocoa powder. They smell amazing. It's heavenly. I love it. And the texture of these is ridiculous. They're so good. Super creamy and buttery, each and every one of them. There are a few of the sparkly ones that feel a little bit gritty in terms of the texture. The weird thing about it is that those sparkly ones still feel smooth. It's kind of odd. They're very pigmented. I mean, I just swatched that once. Let me swatch the grittier ones. The only ones that have the slightest bit of fallout, if anything, is these sparkly ones, of course. Overall, I think this palette is amazing. A must-have for me, staple in my makeup bag. And I highly recommend it, especially if you're starting out with makeup or are not too adventurous in terms of color. This is great for every day. So those are my thoughts on the Too Faced Chocolate Bar Palette. Now let's go ahead and get started with the look. Starting off with foundation, I'm using my current favorite by CoverGirl, and I love this foundation for a natural look. It has a semi-matte finish, but it also gives medium to full coverage, which is buildable, so that's always nice. And I'm applying it with my Sigma Flat Top F80 brush. Now, for some reason, I forgot to film myself putting on concealer, but I do use the MAC Pro Longwear in NW15 applied with my Beauty Blender. To go over any blemishes or redness peeking through, I use my Bare Minerals Original Foundation, and this stuff works really great as a concealer and it also lasts me throughout the whole day. Since we're using the Chocolate Bar Palette, I thought it would be fitting to use the Chocolate Soleil bronzer and just smell all like chocolatey goodness. And I'm just using this to contour my face. I'm also using my Sigma small contour brush, which lost its shape there. But yeah, I'm just contouring the hollows of my cheeks and around my face to make it look a little bit more chiseled. Here I'm going over my jawline because it's very prominent and this is a way to kind of recede it a little bit. I'm also taking the bronzer down my neck with a Real Technique blush brush and blending everything out so that it looks naturally tan. Now this is something that I always do even in the most natural makeup looks, and it's filling in my brows. I'm using the Anastasia Brow Powder Duo with an angled liner brush. And the cool thing about this is that you get two shades, so you can make your brows look very natural but still very full. I tend to use the lighter shade closer to my inner corner and then blend both light and dark shades to get that really pointed edge. Once I'm done filling them in, I just run a spoolie through them just to make sure that everything is well blended and looks natural. To begin the eye look, I'm using primer, and this is just gonna make my eyeshadows last throughout the whole day without any creasing. It also makes the colors pop a lot more. I'm just dabbing a little bit on my lids, blending it up toward the crease and into the inner corners. It's time to break in the Chocolate Bar Palette. First color up, Haute Chocolate. I'm using a Sigma shader brush and patting it all over the lid. To add some color to the outer corners, I'm going in with Semi-Sweet and a small crease brush. I'm using windshield wiper motions in the shape of a V. This is going to add some definition, especially since we're going for a smoky cat eye look. Salted Caramel sounds delicious. This has to be my favorite blending shade from the palette. It's super soft and creamy and it adds a nice warm touch to the look. I'm using a Sigma blending brush to make sure that there are no harsh lines. Also, try not to drag the color too high up, just keep it concentrated around the crease area. To add more depth and smokiness to that outer corner, I'm going in with Cherry Cordial, and I'm using a small crease brush to place it exactly in the outer V. I don't want to take it up, I just want to place it in that outer corner and then blend it out with a Sigma blending brush. And this is a color that you can just keep adding on and blending out until it's just as smoky as you would like. For the lower lash line, I'm going in with Hazelnut. All these colors are just making me hungry, but I'm using a Real Techniques detailer brush and I'm running it just to the halfway point. To add some light to the look, I'm going in with Marzipan. Now this shade is not too light, but it's not too dark either, and it adds the perfect golden sheen for this look. I'm applying it to the inner half of my lids, the inner corners, and connecting it with the lower lash line shade. For a brow highlight, I'm using White Chocolate, and this is a matte shade, so it balances out the look perfectly because we already have shimmer going on. I'm patting it onto my brow bone with an e.l.f. shader brush. To create the infamous cat eye, I'm using the Milani Eye Tech Extreme. This is a felt tip eyeliner. It goes from thin to thick, so it's pretty easy to handle. I'm starting off with the tip because I feel it's safer that way. It's kind of playing it safe when it comes to winging out your eyeliner, and then I'm connecting it to my lid. Try to keep the line as close to your lash line as possible, and it's gonna go from a thin line on the inner corners to a thicker line closer to the wing. Here I'm just connecting the wing to the lower lash line, again with a very thin line, and this is going to go only to the halfway point. I wanted to add more drama to the look, so I went with Makeup Forever Aqua Eyes in Matte Black. This is perfect for this purpose because it's waterproof, and I'm just running it through the lower and upper rims of my eyes. To plump up my lashes, I'm using my favorite mascara, and I just use the regular version of this because waterproof is just way too hard for me to remove at the end of the day. I'm just kind of lazy like that. I use 2 coats on top and a thin coat on my bottom lashes. For a natural blush, I'm using MAC's Melba blush. I am so in love with this shade. It is the most gorgeous peachy pink color, and it adds a natural glow to the skin. I'm applying it with my Sigma large contour brush on the apples of my cheeks. To complement my peachy cheeks, I'm doing a nude peachy color on my lips. And this is the finished makeup look. I am really happy with how it turned out. It does use a lot of shimmer, but I think it is a very wearable look, and it can go from daytime to nighttime. I hope you guys liked this tutorial. Please give it a thumbs up if you do, and I'll see you next time. Bye!